Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here with the start of a new series, much anticipated, Season 2 of Regrowth. I have hosted a single-player world on an Aqua's server so that I can be certain to get the best performance out of it that I possibly can, and so that we can avoid any issues like we had last time with multiple quest resets and the eventual instability of the world from too many people completing too many quests. So we're going to log in and see where we end up. Well, we're at the ocean. That's cool. First things first, with Regrowth, you're going to need to put... Wow, that was fast. Check that out. Pasture seeds. First plant. That's kind of a win. Alright, let's punch some slate and get some flint. Check out the book.
You've awoken from slumber once more, but this time things seem a little different. The world itself appears dead around you. A wasteland stretching off into the distance, dotted by the skeletons of trees, accompanied only by grey boulders. Even more curiously, the earth seems barren. Try as you might, you cannot find a single deposit of minerals underground, leaving you to wonder what to make of this world. As you look around, you start to think about what it will take to survive here, and how you might try and help the world recover.
I love that voiceover at the beginning, done by our good friend Vigrum. So, starting off, we're going to need to work in quests in the What the World Teaches and What the World Came to Be categories. Oh, hey, look, there's a bat over there. Neat. First things first, punch some things. Get some charcoal, some flint, and some dead wood oak planks. I am not going to go through all of the story portions of the quest because, for the most part, it's pretty story light and teaches you how to play more than anything. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on progressing... Oh! Check that out, there's a wicker man. We're going straight there. This is a fantastic start. I'm right near the sea. I've got myself an early source of wheat. Yeah, that's all kinds of win. Oh, right, don't punch things with a stick or else you get all that debug data. And look, there's a cave. I don't know if there's much these days that you can find underground. I don't think so. But things may have changed since the last time I played. We are on version 0.9.1, and I have been assured by the Phoenix Lodge that the mod list is final, and the quests are mostly complete. There are some quests for some later game mods that are not 100% done, and honestly may never be from the rumors that I have heard. However, it's at a good enough point for me this time. And need one more deadwood plank. Okay, almost there. You want to make sure you punch all of the bits of grass that you can, trying to find some important items. The pasture seed is probably one of the most important, but clay, bone meal, floral fertilizer, very, very helpful. There we go. That ought to complete that quest for us. We get 12 apples for some early game food, and it pushes us off to grasping at straws. As you can see, we're looking for a belladonna seed, 2 more clay, and 1 more floral fertilizer before we can complete the punching grass quest. That'll give us seeds, carrot seeds, and potato seeds, which is fantastic. Also, we can finally get some tools going. Uses Tinker's Construct for basically all of your tool needs. Wait a second here. That's right, everything has its own special crafting recipe. So we're going to take a quick look at Tinkers in NEI. I'm going to do my best to teach people how to accomplish everything, as well as going through it all myself. So let's see. I believe we need a flint hatchet to begin with. And... how about an axe head then? Flint axe? There we go. Sometimes figuring out exactly the right thing to search is the hardest part of it all. And then a flint axe head on top of a stick gives us a flint hatchet. And, oh, I need another axe head. Of course. We're going to need to make some wooden tool rods. Those are a simple matter like so. 2, 3, 4. And we need another hatchet head. We're going to need that pickaxe head. We're going to need a shovel head. And we're going to need another hatchet head. What else do we need? One more flint shovel head and a wood binding. Wood bind. How about just binding then? Peridot binding. No. This is a little odd. Man, that is not making life easy on me this start, is it? That's very, very strange. This should be something that I can look up with just bind, but it's not coming up. How about wooden? There we are. Wooden binding. It was probably there and I just couldn't see it. Happens. YouTuber blindness, we'll call it that. There. Alright, so we get a flint sword blade, materials in U Volume 1, and our choice of a bone handguard, bone crossbar, or bone wide guard. I believe the handguard gets you the rapier, and the wide guard gets you the longsword. Either of them, it's pretty much personal preference. I tend to prefer the longswords. Oh, hey look, I got a free flower. That's not an all-the-time sort of thing. Because I like the ability to block. However, the rapier can be very, very nice because it ignores armor, and you get that cool lunging attack with it. The other one is... I forget exactly what kind of tool it is. Well, I mean, what kind of sword it is. These are all... Oh, hello. Skeleton spawner. You know, I think that we're going to save that. I think that I can make good use of this later on. We're not going to kill that. We are going to light up the area around it in a good ways, though. Just to make sure that no skeletons are spawning out of it. There we go. And that should do as soon as we get rid of the rest of the slate. Let's see if I can make my mattock. Good. Yay. If anyone's seen my Regrowth or Crash Landing series before, you'll know that the mattock is one of my favorite tools from Tinkers. Oh, and look at that. It is getting late, so it's a good thing we got that skeleton spawner all blocked off. We are going to want to get ourselves some form of basic protection for the night. Now, because I'm not going to... Alright, I need the binding. There we go. I am not going to have a lot of time before things start getting very dangerous. What we're going to do is just make an extraordinarily simple structure out of some cracked sand here. Oh, look, another cave entrance. That's asking for trouble. I need about 32 of this stuff to be able to do what I want to do. And even that is probably more than I need. There we are. So, what's going to keep us safe? Well, a really simple wall that's a couple high and has an exterior lip to it. Oh, hello. I didn't think he'd be able to spawn there. That's not good. Now I'm in trouble. Thank you, server, for saving the world. It's appreciated. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's make ourselves another torch to put on in the middle there. I thought I had myself safe from the skeleton spawner, but no! No, it wasn't gonna work out for us after all. So you're going to want to make sure you have a nice lip so that the spiders can't get up. And come morning, you're going to want it to be taller than this, definitely. I thought I could do it with 32. I was wrong. Won't take much more, though. And this will keep us safe through the night. Come morning, we can get out there into the world and keep punching things. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to even bother with anti-spider protection. I can guard myself from spiders by, you know, virtue of a flint mattock. So I'm going to wait through the night to keep myself safe, and come morning time, we will get back out there and work on a little bit more. Oh, you know what? I need to make that shovel. Then we can hand in that quest. Where'd my other shovel head go? There you are. Yay! I'm going to take the white guard. And after that, it's time to dig down to find ourselves some cobblestone and some dirt. There's nothing of substance underground, unfortunately, so I'm pretty much just going to spend the time until morning digging around, finding my way to some stone, and hopefully, sometime soon, a pocket of dirt. Back soon. I am out and about, getting the last bits that we need for those 2 quests. I've already found all of the dirt and cobblestone needed, but if you're having issues yourself, look for the surface caves. I've got some nearly surface dirt here, thanks to a ravine that ran close to the surface. And if you can find any mushrooms, you're going to want them for later, so grab them up. Unfortunately, I seem to be stuck on belladonna seed as the last thing I need, and there isn't a whole lot you can do to speed along this part of the game besides just go for it. Keep punching them plants. Try not to get lost. You don't have easy access to mapping in this pack. Your only option... there we go. Your only option is BiblioCraft mapping. If you find that you're running into inventory issues, your first option to handle any of those is to use a deadwood plank and your flint hatchet, which I don't have on me at the moment, to make a crafting table. Let me show you the recipe. Right. Well, it won't show the hatchet properly, but the flint hatchet, any hatchet from Tinker's plus the crafting table will get you, plus a deadwood plank will get you a crafting table. Alright, so now it's time to head home. And then you can use the deadwood planks just like any other type of plank to get yourself a chest. I ended up finding most of my dirt down in that hole over there. You're also going to want to find a source of water. If you don't happen to be near the sea, which you probably should be, but it's not a guarantee, you're going to need to find one of those surface pools. Things to note while you're running around: witches' circles, if you happen to spot any. Hobgoblin huts, both from witchery. Collect the wheat from the wicker men, so that you have a steady supply of bread and a huge supply of wheat seeds. And try to remember where the modest hives are. They'll be useful later. As per usual, I am recording this live on Twitch in my behind-the-scenes streams. Those happen 9 to 5-ish, depending on how I feel, Monday through Friday. I'm being reminded by someone in chat that it only works when your hatchet is fully repaired. Oh, and in this exact version, apparently TPL forgot to disable Academy Craft or Spawn. This is not supposed to be here, so we're going to pretend it isn't, and we're going to ignore it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move everything upstairs. I'm going to build myself a bit of a more secure area. But first, let's hand in those quests, shall we? We get 32 dirt, 32 stone, and our choice of limestone or marble. I already have some marble, so I'll grab some more. And grasping at... oh, 3 clay. There we go. Pile o' seeds. Fantastic. Next on the list, flowering. It wants us to get our way to some... with 2 mystical white flowers, we'll be able to get some floral fertilizer and some bone meal. All we need to do is put down the floral fertilizer on the dirt or grass, which we can make with the pasture seed. We'll cover that in a bit, though. I'm going to move things upstairs. I'm going to make a slightly larger, more secure compound. Do some off-camera grindy stuff to get myself a nice big area walled off with a really ugly wall of cracked sand. We'll be back soon. If, like me, you find yourself with a bunch of zombies and skeletons creeping outside your door, walking around the outside of your wall, you can open a window at head height, stab them through it. It's quite effective, really. And I'm probably going to end up doing something similar for that spawner to make best use of it. Be wary of creepers when you go back out in the morning. The pack does have, I believe it's creeper collateral to stop creepers from destroying all of the things, but you can still get things destroyed if they happen to blow you up. I think that's the only tips that I have at the moment for the nighttime. You're definitely going to want to try to get a lip on your wall as fast as possible to stop the spiders from getting in. I am kind of slacking a bit on the whole build a safe compound and get a wall going. Okay. I think... yeah, alright, we're in good shape. I'll be back once the compound is finished and we have a nice dirt floor and we can move on and start getting some work done. Alright, now that we've got a little bit of room to work with, fairly safe, and I've started building a little something around the mob spawner, but then I realized that doing so now is very premature. We can do a lot better very, very soon. Next quest is going to be buckets of stuff. It's going to get us 16 bone meal and 64 more dirt. All we need to do is make ourselves a unfired clay bucket from Iguana Tinker Tweaks. We are going to need a furnace, and we're going to need some fuel for said furnace. Easiest way to get some fuel for said furnace is going to be completing the patterned response quest, which is going to give us 16 charcoal, 64 deadwood planks, and a full guard pattern for making our tinker's items. So, oh, you know what? I'm going to need more deadwood planks to be able to do that, aren't I? Sigh. Be right back. Good news, you can see my little compound over there and that modest hive that I pointed out earlier in the episode. Going a little bit further, as I've been chopping down some of these dead trees to get more deadwood planks, I found something phenomenal. There's a little lava pool over here. This is going to be very, very useful later. We're going to come back and, well, we're going to start extracting some of that later on. Just wanted to share that little find with you, as when I'm exploring around, I like to show... ooh, and look at that. There's an aura node right there. You can just barely see it. Yeah, cool. But Thumbcraft is going to come a lot later. Anyway, I like to cut back in and show you guys what's going on when I find something cool, just so that it doesn't come as a big surprise later. Hey, where'd you get all this lava? Now you'll know. Anyway, I'm going to get back. I'm going to make all those tinker things. I'm going to assume people know how to make the tinker's construct items in general. But to give you a quick run through, so I'm not going to make them all on screen, but I'll show you real quick. You're going to need the patterns. And the patterns can be made 2 sticks and 2 planks to 4 patterns. Well, that works for the dead wood planks just as well as anything. Right, don't have mouse tweaks. Probably going to install that extra. It's a fun little utility mod that I have come to enjoy quite a lot after checking it out in 1.8, and then I learned there's a 1.7 version. So yeah, we're going to be adding mouse tweaks to our instance. If anybody wants a quick run through on how to add a mod on Curse, please let me know, and I will upload a video just for that. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you can figure it out. Alright, back when that quest is complete. Alright, the tool station, the stencil table, and the pattern chest, those are no problem, they're made pretty normal. The one potential issue is the part builder. However, if you take those deadwood planks and put 9 of them together, you'll get a deadwood log. And that's what you can stick your pattern over top of to get your part builder. Just wanted to let you in on all of the secrets so I didn't skip anything. Excellent. Now, I'm not actually going to make use of the charcoal because using a piece of charcoal to fire a single bucket is ridiculous. We'll put some sticks in there. It's not like I am short on sticks. By the way, if you do end up installing mouse tweaks, make sure you go into the config file and disable the... oh, what's it called? I can't remember. The wheel tweak. You're going to want that to turn that from a 1 to a 0 in the config file because it conflicts with inventory tweaks wheel option. All right, so dirt and bone meal. Good. Next step, not Farmville 3. It's going to want us to make some crop sticks. That's simple enough. Crop sticks are made with sticks. Surprise, surprise. I'm just going to go ahead and make a stack. I know I'm going to need a lot of them by the end of this pack. And then it's going to want wheat, sugarcane, and mandrake root. It gives you some ideas of how to create these. This is all using AgriCraft. Let's go get some water so that we can get this started. Made a little door so I can get in and out slightly safer. Oh, there's the water. Scoop. Bad zombie! Bad zombie! Oh look, a skull crawler. Lovely. Or a zombie crawler? I'm not sure. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. Get another bucket, just so that we have an infinite water source inside and don't need to do this again. Don't throw away, well, anything, but especially mob drops. Put you there, grab you. You know what, we're going to make an infinite water source here in the corner. We're going to need to expand this area that we have going on pretty soon. There's just not enough room in here. Okay, so where were we? Oh yes, we were going to start growing some things. So if I till the soil using my mattock, I can put the crop sticks right on top. And then I can apply whatever seeds I happen to have available to them. The book will tell you that if you crossbreed wheat and carrots, it'll produce sugarcane, potatoes and belladonna will produce mandrake, and sugarcane seeds require sand to be used as the soil. So you will need cross crops planted on sand or red sand. You can find red sand underneath in the world, or you can head for the ocean where you'll be able to find red sand and sand without a problem. This is the backbone mod of the pack, AgriCraft. It is probably the most important one to be comfortable with. There we go. And now we're going to make use of our bone meal, because we have lots of it available. After the plants grow, you can right-click on them to harvest. At default, they're going to grow the same as any other plant that you could expect. You're going to get one harvest, one item out of each. However, later on, you'll be able to improve the seeds and get yourself up to something far, far better. All right, what do we need? That was potato and belladonna. So if we till here and here, we're going to grab our potato seeds now. We'll set up our potato seeds on here, get those full grown. And then if we put a crop and put another crop on the crop, this is how you crossbreed. Now, with the potato and the belladonna, this will, when it gets a growth tick, combine the two. Unfortunately, you can't bone meal it to speed it up. This is a waiting process, and it can get painful. So once you have that set up, you're pretty much just waiting. Not much else you can do. If you end up out in the world and you manage to kill an enderman, you're guaranteed an ender pearl. And I believe this is one of the repeatable ones. And you may notice that a lot of the quests will get you some reputation rewards. These reputations will unlock more quests in various areas. Huh. Locked quest. But Observations of an Immortal. Once we have that book, we'll be able to collect some bonuses. But that's all in the future. And, oh yeah, we've already unlocked It's Super. If we make the super crafting frame, we'll get a bunch more super crafting frames. These are pretty cool. As you can see, it lets you set up a recipe and then just click right out of that out of the crafting frame. It'll use whatever's in the chest to make it. Oh, here we go. We got potato seeds. We don't want potato seeds. We want belladonna. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set these up right there. You know what we're going to do? Yes, we are going to do that. And put a cross there and bone meal this guy to full grown. So hopefully that'll give us another chance to get our mandrake. And otherwise, it's really just a wait it out kind of deal. So, while we're waiting, I think that I'll spend some more time working on the compound, making some more room for myself. And, oh, actually, you know what we can do? We can use up the floral fertilizer that we have found so far. When you right-click floral fertilizer on grass or dirt, you are guaranteed to get 4 mystical flowers if there's enough empty space in the area. It's not a checks each spot, so you can go ahead and use all of it, and you will be certain that you'll get your 16. That achievement thing is almost obnoxious, isn't it? We're going to make a Botania chest right off the bat because this is one of the other cornerstone mods of the pack. We're going to end up with a ton of Botania goodies over time. Might as well start giving them their own place right now. And we only got one of the 2 mystic white flowers that we need. However, if you look up floral fertilizer, you'll find that you can easily craft some using 4 powder, floral powder, and 1 bone meal. With the skeleton powder spawner over there, we have a near infinite source of bone meal. All we need to do is set it up, and we're definitely going to be doing that before the end of this episode. What you do with Botania to make sure that you can continue producing what you need is you go ahead and you grab whichever ones you're not going to be making extensive use of early on. For me, I think that's going to be the magenta petals. I don't think those are super useful near the beginning. Scroll over to the petal apothecary, and you can see what flowers they can be used to make. And I don't remember using any of these ever. Hibiscus. That's nice. I like it. Yep, I'm not seeing any big use for the magentas right away. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those as a good option to turn into petals. And then we're going to need to make ourselves a bowl. I can't make a bowl. Oh, it uses planks. You can make planks out of your... you can make slabs out of your deadwood planks. And then, if you're really needing a specific oak wood plank, you can very easily turn them back into oak, just like that. they're functionally the same thing, so it's not a big deal either way. So can I do this? Yes, I can. Great. That gets us our pestle and mortar, which we can use to grind any petals, any mystical petals we have, into floral powder. And then our 4 floral powder plus 1 of our bone meal gets us another floral fertilizer. Now, this gives us 4 more flowers, which is 8 more petal. Where'd the other one go? Did it end up outside somehow? That would be weird. Did I end up with 3? That's very weird. Oh well. Even only getting 3, we're still winning. Hey, mandrake seeds. Winning. Fantastic. Ooh, you know what? It could have popped into here somewhere. No? Oh well. So we ended up getting 6 petals out of it. You'll usually get 8. So it's really just a cost of bone meal. You will be able to get your petals, get an endless supply of floral fertilizer over time. What are light blues used for? I think these are used for something useful. Day blooms. Those are going to be our first creation, so yeah. Pink petals, on the other hand. Rosa Arcana, useful but not great. Orchid Ignum. I don't even know how to pronounce that one. And Polydisiac. That's a cool one, but again, not super useful early on. Cyan, on the other hand, I seem to remember being slightly more useful, but I could be wrong. Mana Star, nope. Hydroganius, nope. Bellathorn, that's cool, but not what we need. Dried Thorn, again, same thing. Tangleberry. Clayconia. Alright, yep, we definitely don't want to use our cyan flowers. Nope, nope, nope. Mystic Blues, on the other hand, those might be a good sacrificial flower. Because Hydrangeas we don't care that much about. Spectrolis is a very late game. So is the Bubble. Solignolia. All your magnets are belonged. Oh yeah, that one shuts magnets off. And that's a Magic Bees in a Morvillira's Garden. Interesting. I don't even know what that one does, honestly. So I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to go ahead and use up the blues. So blues and pinks are also fair game. Magenta, blues, and pinks. That's what we're certain of at the moment. Anyway, you get the general idea. At this point, it's just a matter of me heading off to the beach, getting myself some sand so that I can make the... Oh, what was it again? Sugar? Yeah, sugarcane. And getting this mob trap set up so that I do, in fact, have an infinite amount of bone meal. Maybe it's only 3 at a time. Or maybe I'm just not giving it enough room to work. Either is possible at this point. You're going to need your light grays. I don't think you need your oranges. We'll double check just to be certain. Oh no, oranges are day bloom. Reds, browns, you need those because those are used for one of the best proper production flowers. Blacks, Narslimus, that's useful, but not until later. Dreadthorn, same thing. Yeah, you can use up the blacks. Go ahead. And greens, we'll double check here. Manastar, Munchdew, Narslimus. These are used in a lot of things, but most of them are fairly advanced with a number of petals. Ooh, Jaded Amaranthus. Yeah, greens are useful, but again, you're going to need to get a little bit into the mod before they're very useful. The early one that they offer is not fantastic, to my knowledge. I should check out what the Mana Star does. To see what any of these do, you're going to need the Lexicon Botania, which you'll be able to craft, but I'm pretty sure they'll also be giving to us in the quest book sometime soon. Not 100% on that. Paper. Oh, well, as soon as we have the sugarcane, we'll be able to make paper, and then we can get our Lexica. Yeah, that'll be pretty simple. Nice, huh? Alright folks, I'm gonna go get that sand. I'm gonna cook up some sugar cane with my carrots and my wheat. Let me just get the carrots a-cooking. I found one from a zombie I killed, and then we also have that carrot seed here. By the way, if you do happen to find a wicker man and find yourself in need of a lot more wheat seeds, you got possibilities. There we go. Where are my crops? Here they are. I'm going to return briefly once I have everything I need to continue. By the way, if you happen to find yourself in a place where you just don't have sand, you can craft a bucket of water and some cracked sand into regular sand. This is not a fast process, but you can speed it up through the use of a super crafting frame. We'll go over that next episode. Alright folks, here we go. Sugarcane, and no, that's belladonna. There's the mandrake. Fantastic. That should complete the quests for us, I believe. One quest with unclaimed rewards. There it is. We'll get some bone meal. Not the biggest deal in the world. We can now work on the quest Feeling Seedy, which will give us the for which we need to make the seed analyzer. This will allow us to start analyzing our seeds, as it says on the tin, so that we can start improving them. Ooh. And welcome to inventory management with Mentat. There's going to be a lot of this, I can guarantee it. Veterans of the channel will know that I am terrible about keeping my inventory clean and end up doing a lot of this, sometimes on camera. Now, what I've been doing over here is creating a relatively classic vanilla mob trap. I'll show you the finishing touches that I'm putting on it, so that we'll be able to make the most of our captive skeleton spawner. We have, in here, a 9x7 platform, where they'll be able to spawn in the air even and fall down in a, I believe it's an 8x8x3 rectangular prism around the spawner. And then they should get pushed off into this stream, where they'll get pushed over here, where we'll be able to come down and easily smack them about. And they won't be able to see us. It's going to be great. Okay, let's break the lights, close up the doors, and as you can see, this is actually a bit of a problem to deal with. Gotta love bouncing around in the water. And get our skeletons a-spawning. Now, this is not a 100% safe proposition. Ow. Ow. But we don't need 100% safety, do we? Alright, so... Downside is we don't want the light to be leaking in there, but we'd also really rather not have it... Did I miss a torch? I must have missed a torch. I missed a torch. That's the problem. No wonder this thing's not working at all. There we go. Now they're going to start coming fast and furious. Yep, all kinds of goodies are going to come our way now. Now, the baby skeletons are going to be able to come get us, and when we kill a skeleton, there's a pretty good chance that they will spawn a skull crawler, which will also be able to come and get us. That's significantly less than ideal. However, there are a lot of goodies that you can only get by killing these guys by hand. So it's kind of worth it to take the risk. If, however, you're of a more risk-averse sort, you can instead use your newfound sugarcane to make some punji sticks. 5 sugarcanes will get you 5 punji sticks, which can all be placed into one spot, and when the skeletons get pushed into them, they will take a bunch of damage from that instead. Oh, hey look, we got an enchanted bow with power 1. Nice! But yeah, free armor so far, free bow, 3 bones, So not great on the bones yet, but we're going to be getting a ton of stuff over time. And if you want to make this safer, there is another option actually. We come over to our crafting table. We can create some cobblestone slabs. For one, we can put some slabs up here to make it so that there's only half a block and to block off more of the light. And for two, we can slab the bottom half of these. We'll still be able to see in and kill everything pretty easily. And in fact, if I put more slabs here and here, I'll be able to run right up to here and get all of the drops. Yeah, this is actually a much better configuration. I don't know why I didn't think of this. This is like my standard skyblock go-to, but just didn't occur to me until right now. Yeah, this is going to end up being pretty good. See, look, there's a skull crawler in there. He can't get to me. Now, this will get even better as soon as we have the ability to attack in an area, which, well, that won't take very long, will it? Hi, skullcrawler. Look, they're killing each other for me. Oh, did this thing break? This thing broke. No wonder I'm not doing any damage. All of the bones. Ow. The little guy can still hit me through here. That's fine. Then if you really want to get fancy about automating it, once you have access to some, I wonder if I could put a half slab there. I'm going to try this. We're going to see what happens now. Oh yeah, that's even better. And the crawler can get to... Oh, nope, the crawler doesn't see us. Nice, because it doesn't count the bottom half and the top half being open as a full block open. That I think, is where we're at for the perfect setup for this, for now. We can automate it further later on by... with punji sticks, spikes, a lava blade if we wanted to, some hoppers, all kinds of options in this pack for making this work even smoother. But for the time being, I think that we have a pretty good setup for infinite bone meal right off the bat. Yeah, see, there's 16 bones. We have over a stack of bone meal now. That is going to speed life up. Alright, looks like that's long enough for an extra long episode 1. In the future, I will attempt to keep the episodes under 30 minutes, but, well, no problem. No promises. If you've enjoyed today's episode, leave me a thumbs up, tell me what you liked about it, and if not, please, click that thumbs down button and tell me what you'd like to see me do better. Without your feedback and constructive criticism, I cannot improve, so it is very much appreciated if you tell me what you'd like to see me do differently or better. Either way, you want to see more of this series? Please click subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.